Goddamn.
Wow. Wow. Goddamn is right, man. Goddamn is actually right, bro.
What
This
is it?
yes, this is officially we are officially underway with very last the very last episode of news. Episode 246, bro. The very last episode of news for 2024. Wow.
Right.
Wow. Man, there has been wow. Man, what can you say, bro? What can you say? There's been so much going down this year here at NHP, bro. It is obviously on record. Personally, this year has just been an absolute train wreck of a year. Um,
Mhm.
this year has been an absolute train wreck of a year, bro. But um, professionally here at the Notorious
Been
Hills
great.
podcast, this has been amazing. And this the podcast, the grind of it, and the success of it has been so rewarding to me this year, and it has given back so much to me personally. I'm just overall so thrilled, so thrilled with what we're going to be doing in the year of 2025, and we've already started doing it this year, man. We've obviously upped all of our content. We've took on reviews for all the pay-per-views. Obviously,
Mhm.
you guys know, bro, there was once upon a time where we only did the big five for each, right?
Yeah.
We did Mania, Rumble, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series, bro. Nothing else. And then obviously for AEW, Full Gear, Double or Nothing, Forbidden Door, All Out, and Full Revolution. And we have upped that, bro, and we have done so many reviews this year, and we've done so many great reviews this year, catching you guys right after the show goes off the air, obviously, and we've just upped the quality, bro. You see the look of our thumbnails from the start of this year to honestly just a couple months into the year. Everything has been upped. Everything has been upped. Everything has been leveled up, and I'm so proud. I I couldn't have been more proud of a year for the podcast, and for as shitty as the year has been personally, the podcast again has given back so much to me. Wow. I mean, yes, it is truly given back so much to me, man. I mean, just everything, bro. The growth of the growth of everything. Like I said, the growth of our thumbnails, the growth of our activity in terms of just how much content we put out, and the quality of content we put out. I'm very proud of. Minus, you guys know the annual Wi-Fi fuck ups, which
Never ends.
yeah, unfortunately are a bit uncontrollable, at least for the time being. So those are going to be around, and they suck. They don't get any better. But aside from that, man, I'm genuinely so proud of. I'm genuinely so proud of everything we've done this year. I'm proud of. I'm just again. I'm just overjoyed with. Yeah, like I said, just the grind that this has been, and it's truly been such a rewarding grind in itself, and it's been something that has just been a huge outlet for myself to get away from just certain just bullshit and type of stuff like that on the outside, or in my personal life. So I'm so proud, and truly, man, thank you guys to everybody who's been here with us on this ride for the better part of, what are we coming up on, the 5 year anniversary. um
Yeah.
so so for the 4.5 years that we've been at this, man, thank you to everybody who's been along on the ride, and truly thank you to all the people who are new here, and just figuring out or finding out about our content, and enjoying it. So it means a lot. It means a lot to me that you guys care about what we do, and it just I can't say it enough, man. It makes me so proud, and it fulfills me, man. So thank you guys so much. It's been a great fucking year here at the podcast, man, and I'm excited for next year because we are just fucking getting started.
Oh, truly, man. Before I say anything, if I don't sound great at points, my apologies. Kinda
Mm.
still a little sick in, my everything with like nasal and all that. So if I don't sound great, my apologies. But dude, 2024 was a fucking year. I'll tell you that, man. Nothing was safe. And it was a fucking year, man. I'll tell you that. But in terms of podcast, in terms of you guys, in terms of all this, it has been great, dude. Quality better than it's ever been, man. A complete rebrand that looks phenomenal.
Whew.
Um, everything looks phenomenal. Thumbnails always look phenomenal. Changed up that style this year. Um, year, I would say years in. Good lord. Um, the year-end awards look phenomenal. They are going to be phenomenal with the setup we have, the categories, what's changed, what's not. I'm so excited, man. This year for the show has been phenomenal, and I'm so thankful it has been. It's been so great this year talking to you guys. More you guys coming in, talking to us, meeting us. It's great, dude. Thank you guys for all you guys that watch us, whether which show you watch, whether it's live in the replay, don't matter, man. You watch us, that's all that matters. And thank you guys, truly. It's been a great year for the show, phenomenal year for the show. And I gotta thank all you guys for it, man. And like I said, 2024 was not great, but for the show, for you guys, it's been great, man. So truly, thank you.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, man. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Can't say it enough. Yes, thank you guys so very much. It's been awesome. It's been a ride and it's been a journey, bro. And like I said, we are just getting started, and we are it's just gonna get better and better, bro. It's just gonna get better and
Truly,
better, and we're gonna continue to up the quality for you guys, and we're gonna continue to do our thing, bro. So, yes, what an amazing year for NHP. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, whether you guys are new viewers, old viewers, OG viewers, you guys already know what it is, bro. You guys know how much we say it every show. Thank you guys, and we love you guys. We say that at the end of every intro, and that is so true, man. We are very grateful for you guys, and just couldn't be more happy for everything that for everything you guys have given us in return to, like I said, the grind that this has been. It's been an amazing grind, and it's been just one that I'm so proud of. I'm so proud of, and yes, this is the last episode of 2024 for the Notorious Heels podcast, or at least the Friday show. We got one more unscripted in 2024, as well as one more review, which you guys will be catching us tomorrow for the World's End official review. And I wish somebody ended my world come
mhm,
tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, because good lord, does that card look interesting? And we're gonna go over that in just a second, bro. But if this is your first time watching, welcome everybody to NHP, the final episode of NHP for 2020, or the final episode of the news for 2024. If you guys did miss this past Monday's edition of Unscripted, is Tony Storm putting on a timeless performance to trick Mariah May. That is episode 227. You guys can now watch that on all platforms. And with that, if this is your first time watching, or my bad. With that, if you guys did miss that, my bad. Um, if you guys did miss that episode of Unscripted, that is available for you guys on all platforms. That is Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to see it first, join us right here live every Monday after Monday Night Raw for Unscripted, man. With that, if you guys have not got a chance to pick up some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video, man, where you can find this beautiful piece of merch to go along with said rebrand of the podcast that Sir K was talking about, live on bonfire.com, man. Link is at the top of the description of this very video. And with that, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are here at NHP, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show. And as for the other half, we got my man Sir K here. How the hell are you, bro?
what's up, man? Apologies again, but I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It was Christmas. It was all that, man, and Christmas didn't really go as planned, but it can't 2024. I had to give one last punch in, but overall, Christmas was fine. It was Christmas. Usually one of my favorite times of year, man. So I've been overall pretty fine, pretty all right, pretty good, man. But just been chilling, man. Just been chilling, waiting for a world's end. I'm excited, not excited for that. It's happening. So you can say that, man. But world's end coming up. Got the review for that. I'm excited for the review. Always excited for the review, especially when it's uh, as intriguing of a show as World's End. And the review is always very great when it's a show like that, man. So I'm excited about the review, but
For all the wrong
just
reasons.
exactly. Fucking 2 hours of just fucking shitting on it, so that's gonna be great. Um, but I'm doing good, man. Like Durante always asks, how's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How's everybody doing in the live chat? How's everybody doing in the replay? And what about you, bro? How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was very good, bro. My Christmas was very good. Always love just being around family and just that Christmas time and just seeing people get excited about opening their gifts. It warms my heart, man. It warms my heart,
Truly.
dare I say. Yes, it was very very good, bro. It was very good. So always an enjoyable time, man. Always an enjoyable time. Like I said, I love seeing I love seeing my family and whatnot just open gifts and just get excited about what they got. And it's always a great time, bro. Eggnog, food, you guys know the whole ordeal, bro. So it's always a good time, man. Always a good time. And yeah, bro, very good as always, man. But yeah, other than that, dude, I'm good. I'm good, bro. As Durante always asks, I'm good. Family's good. What about you, Durante? Logan, Bell, whether you guys are here now or a part of the Replay Mafia, my guys, JT and JV, how are you guys doing, bro? And if you guys are new, like my man Pat M, how the hell are you
Yep.
guys? Thank you guys for being here as always, man. So, um, before we get on to the news, year-end awards. You guys can see the promotion. You guys can
Mhm.
see the promotion, because we want you guys to know what's going on. Okay. So as you guys can see above my head, the year-end award, the preview show. Well, I could put up the big graphic for you guys. The preview show for the 2024 NHP year-end awards. Wednesday, January 1st. So next Wednesday, 5 days away. Yeah, 5 days away. On Wednesday, January 1st, 3 p.m. Central. As soon as you guys wake up from your hangover or whatever you guys got going on, you guys could turn on NHP because we will be doing the preview show for the Notorious Heels podcast. We will be revealing all the nominees to the categories, and open voting begins. Open
Oh yeah.
voting begins, man. Now, when will the open voting be open until? It will be from Wednesday, January 1st. As soon as the show goes off the air, right at the end of the stream, I'm gonna link it in the bio. And then I'm gonna post it on all the socials, so it'll be available for you guys to click on it and go vote. And then that will be available for voting until the 7th of January, because on the 8th of January, same time, 3 p.m. Central, we will be holding the official 2024 Notorious Heels year-end awards, man. So it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. So I told you guys, I said, look, we're going to be revealing the nominees to the categories. What are the
Mm.
categories exactly? Well, I know last year, I think we might have had like 15 of them. We might have had 14 or 15 of them. A couple of them needed to go. A couple of them were a
Mhm.
bit unnecessary, and a couple of them just needed to go. So we have shrunk this down. I want to say to Yes, we have shrunk this down to 11. We've shrunk this down to 11 categories, as I'm about to present to you guys the categories that we'll be going over for the year-end awards. And here they are on your very screen. These are the 11 categories for the 2024 year-end awards. And obviously, like I said on the preview show, we will be revealing the nominees to the categories, and these are said categories we will be revealing the nominees to, man. So we got men's superstar, we got women's superstar, we got tag team, we got faction. Obviously, those are your very textbook ones, right? Those are your standard. A couple of your other standards: show meaning pay-per-view. Okay, there was a bunch of there was honestly some really fucking good Monday Night Raw. There was probably about 3 Monday Night Raw, or maybe even a couple SmackDowns in there that could have made the cut. Pay-per-views. That is your show, your moment of the year, your match of the year. Last year and all the years before, we always did breakout star of the year. Okay, we always did breakup star. This year we're switching it up. We're doing future star of 2025. Yes, that is correct, not 2024. This category, there technically isn't a wrong answer to. Not that there's a wrong answer for any of them, because this is obviously all our opinions, right? And this is the time of year we formulate our opinions. But this is an award. This is more of a prediction award. Who we think is going to come up huge for WWE, AEW, or whoever is in there, whatever company they're from. This is a prediction award on who is going to have a future great year in the next year of 2025. So for the 2025 year-end awards, there will obviously be a future star of 2026 award. The reason we did this is because breakout is tricky, right? I mean, you could even argue Drew McIntyre had a breakout year this year. And so for some people, breakout is a guy like Drew McIntyre. And for other people, Drew McIntyre has been on the game for 14 years. So, he's been in the game a long time. So how could it be considered a breakout? So for people like that, so we are just changing this in general. It's not going to be, a young guy, or it doesn't have to be just young people. It doesn't have to be just, older guys that had a fantastic year. This is just going to be changed completely, and it's going to be the future star of 2025 year award. So who is going to have a great year in 2025? Obviously, we're bringing back return/debut, and we are bringing back letdown, and we are bringing back worst booking decision of the year, man. So obviously last year we had brought to you guys a couple categories. We had brought to you guys a lot of categories that are now gone. So career resurgence is gone. Career resurgence is
Pointless.
Yes, they're not as. The reason we're getting rid of that is because it's just not as frequent as it used to be when people were jumping ship to AEW or jumping back to WWE. It's just not as frequent. Failed run and let down are sort of the same thing, so we sort of fuse them. So you are going to see in letdown, you are going to see some nominees that could have been, or that absolutely would have been a nominee for failed run, but failed run, I guess, is sort of a letdown. And if it shouldn't have been in a failed run, or if it shouldn't have been in a failed run, then it probably wouldn't. It probably doesn't even deserve to make a nominee for a letdown anyway. So, but obviously, again, these are going to be failed run is sort of failed run is sort of I guess just being fused with letdown, and it's basically going to be people that I guess had high hopes that turned into a letdown, not just people that failed because they've always sucked and got pushed and still sucked. So yes, I hope that made sense. But failed run and letdown are getting fused. Okay, that's basically that's basically putting it in simple terms. Career resurgence is gone. Entrance is gone. Entrance has kind of been fused with moment. If it was a great enough entrance, then it was a great
Would
enough
be a moment.
moment. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then I think that's basically about it for everything that everything that got cut. So yes, we did cut 3 categories. Just like I said, some of them got fused with other things, just to slim it down, make it a little more digestible for you guys, and make it a little more enjoyable nonetheless. So those are your categories for the 2024 year-end awards, and yeah, that is that. That is that, and yeah, man, those are your
Oh,
categories.
yeah.
And again, as you can see above my head, the preview show next Wednesday, January 1st, 3 p.m. Central. We'll be on here revealing all the nominees for the categories. And like I said, right at the end of the show, you guys are going to get a chance, a week-long chance to vote. Vote it up. Vote for who you want to, man. Yes, vote for who you want to. And there's obviously going to be winner of a fan vote, as well as there's going to be a winner for both myself and Sir K. So, yeah,
Oh,
bro,
yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited. I cannot wait.
All right. So, and again, you guys can see it. You guys have been seeing it in the corner of the show. My man, I got him linked. I got him linked below if you guys want to go check out his Instagram. Stickers 13 Studios. Amazing job on the year-end award logo. Absolutely love it,
Oh,
bro.
truly. Fully phenomenal, man. From our logo, our main logo, to the year-end awards logo. Looks phenomenal, man. Check him out. He does great fucking work, dude. He really does.
Yes. 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 Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you guys in chat. Thank you guys very
Truly.
much. Always,
Thank
always.
you.
Um, so all right. Obviously, we gotta end you guys with World's End. So
Um,
we are going to be starting you guys with some WWE news. We're gonna get a happy start to the podcast this week.
look at that.
As you guys can see in the thumbnail, according to WrestleVotes on the Backstage Pass, WWE is indeed considering making certain premium live events into 2 nights. A 2-night Royal Rumble event in 2026 is on the table. In addition, Money in the Bank could be added to a multiple night event by 2027. This is according to WrestleVotes on the Backstage Pass. My man, I know you love your 2-night shows. I know you love Mania, and I know you've been very receptive to SummerSlam at 2 nights, as well
Yeah.
as I have. How are you feeling about this news? How are you feeling about the other? Well, honestly, bro, how are you feeling about Royal Rumble and Money in the Bank? And how fucking long do you think how long do you think until we're gonna get the news of Survivor Series being then moved? Because if you notice, both of these shows are shows that have special stipulations.
Special matches.
So how long until you think Survivor Series is on this list as well? But more importantly, man, how are you feeling about the 2-night structure for Money in the Bank and Royal Rumble?
I think it's doing way too goddamn much. Listen, for Mania, SummerSlam, great. 2 massive shows that kind of are the shows built for their season. You got, obviously, Mania season building into Mania. You have to have Mania at 2 nights at this point.
Yeah.
And then for SummerSlam, it just makes sense. There's so much going into SummerSlam. You also have to make that two nights. So those 2 make sense. But for any other pay-per-view, it does not need a 2-night format, dude. I mean, Royal Rumble, I get their idea in their head of it's 2 special matches. Each night leads into the women's, then the men's, and then they could have proper undercard for both. I get their idea of it. I just think it's doing way too much, especially with Money in the Bank. Like, I would like, you mentioned Survivor Series. I would think you'd do something like Survivor Series before Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank, it takes, what, 35 minutes, 40 minutes for that match? It's not an hour-long match. So I don't get why you would ever think to split that show specifically into two nights. I think that's doing way too much for that show, man. Um, I just I think it's unnecessary. I think they see it's working for SummerSlam and they're gonna attempt it for other shows, and I think that's your cap right there. I think you hit your limit with the two night shows. It's not gonna be special. The whole reason it works for Mania and SummerSlam, it's because they're the special shows you build up two nights for. When you're doing Rumble and then Money in the Bank, and then like you said, I wouldn't be surprised at some point you get Survivor Series, you get Chamber. It's doing way too much to the point where it's just not special anymore. Or it's too much content. There's a point where it's just too much content. I'm always a less is more person, and when it gets to the point where look how it got with AEW, dude. Fucking three shows a week. Well, now two. One got canceled. Um, but pay-per-view after pay-per-view, they're all fucking 8 hours long. You got fucking this. It's way too fucking much. And with WWE, look at their title situation. There's way too fucking much. Five women's titles. Fucking five, six men's titles. It's just doing way too much, and I think they're going down that route, and that's really annoying to me. I think it's really unnecessary, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't think they could do that. Well, I think they could do it. I just don't think they should do it. I don't think it'll content-wise be great. I think it'll just be doing too much and desaturate. What makes those shows special, man? Yeah, there's only two matches on a Royal Rumble undercard. That's the fucking point. You watch the show for the fucking Royal Rumble. You don't need to add two nights just to add extra shit. At the end of the day, I probably don't care for, especially with the way Triple H does his undercards. He's real 50-50 with that shit half the time. So, yeah, what, you're adding another night just to get another fucking Jade Cargill match on the show? I could do without that, personally. Uh, Save it for a fucking big special TV match. That's, especially with Raw going to Netflix, you're going to be putting the focus on bigger TV spotlights and moments and whatnot, so might as well tone back on the pay-per-views a little bit and put some of that effort into TV. Look how it did for AEW back in its prime, back in 2019 through 2021, 2022. Dynamite was special. You'd get those Dynamites where it'd be pay-per-view level Dynamites, and that shit was good. Yeah, because it also was in contrast to their pay-per-views. God, I hate my voice right now, dude. Um, Dude, it's so annoying. But it, hey, I just think it's unnecessary, and I think it's doing too much. But what do you think about all this shit, dude?
Yeah, I'm falling in the same boat, and it also makes me very scared for all of the other pay-per-views that have special stipulations to it, because if you look at a show like King and Queen of the Ring, there's two of, final matches on that show or whatever. And then again, if you look at like Survivor Series, you have two War Games matches. Then you look at, Money in the Bank and Royal Rumble. They have their separate gimmick matches as well for both the men and the women. And what scares me about this is the two-night structure. It almost is like WWE. Like, I remember a couple years back, a lot of people had the concern of, like, with the more stadium shows WWE does, it makes WrestleMania feel less special. And the same thing applies here, because with the more two-night events you do, it's going to make a two-night event is supposed to be your big spectacle of the year, right? It's supposed to
Yeah,
be, and two, WrestleMania and SummerSlam don't really have, any sort of like gimmick match to it, right? So it's,
no,
they need something to differentiate those two. Not, I wouldn't say not to make it special, but I would just say to differentiate. Like,
yeah,
what would make WrestleMania different or a SummerSlam different is the fact that they have two nights, right? It's a huge event spread across two nights. And the Royal Rumble and the Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, Survivor Series, they have their thing, right? They have the Rumble match, they have the Money in the Bank match, they have the War Games match. seeing those go to 2 nights, I think is, and like you mentioned, like Sir K mentioned, Triple H with his undercards. The Royal Rumble undercard from earlier this year, the Royal Rumble as a show this year was a bad show. It was a
Oh, it was so
bad
lame.
show. The men's Rumble match was lame as shit. The undercard was underwhelming as hell. The low the fact that the fucking Logan Paul and Kevin Owens match was one of the absolute best things on that show, just for the
Yeah.
creative ending, is wild in itself. Being that you had a Rumble match with McIntyre, Punk, Cody, all these got Braun Breaker was in there. I mean, you had and you completely threw it away. Um, that that undercard was horrible. You look at Survivor Series and their undercard was lame as shit, minus the Braun Breaker, Kaiser, and Sheamus match. It was
Oh
lame.
yeah. It was super
Um,
lame.
so he does do a very 50-50 job with these. The Money in the Bank undercard, it was decent
I
from what
think
I
it's
can
fine.
remember. It was a pretty decent undercard, but yeah, I mean, they Money in the or Survivor Series and Royal Rumble this year, I mean, he ended on a bad note. He ended on a very
He did.
bad note with his big show undercards. But with these matches, dude, unless you're giving me NXT TakeOver 2018 levels of a fucking North American ladder match,
No,
for
exactly.
the Money in the Bank, then there's no point. There's no point. And even if you do that, you can still give us that level of matches. All you have to do is shrink your undercard.
Yeah.
So, because the thing is, with Money in the Bank, you don't even really have to have, and same thing with Survivor Series and Royal Rumble. You don't even need to have, these big undercards. Like, I think they did 3 matches. For the Royal Rumble, they did 2. And I think, I mean, ended
Fine.
up being horrible, but I think 2 in itself is good, because WWE's big thing is, we need to get Raw matches and we need to also get SmackDown matches on the undercard. That doesn't make sense, though, when you have both Raw and SmackDown talents in these big gimmick matches. Raw guys and SmackDown guys are in Money in the Bank, War Games, and Rumble. So they come from both brands. So I don't know, but in terms of the 2 night system for these events, man, do not water this shit down. I
Please.
hear a lot of my friends that are fans of the Marvel product. A lot of them always have the same complaint of, the
Doing too much.
good is good, but there's so fucking much to keep up with. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Once they drop Hawkeye, then here's Kingpin, then here's Moon Knight, then here's this and that and this, and then it's like, so
There's no way.
WandaVision. It's like, dude, what the fuck? How much time do you think I have? Like, it's not digestible. It's not
Oh,
fucking digestible because it's so much. I know they want their cash grab, but at the end of the day, bro, you do have to understand that your tickets are outrageously overpriced as it is. You have to take that into consideration with the fact of, a lot of people are unfortunately going to have to miss these shows because people have to work. People have to work,
yeah.
and not everybody can take off 2 nights fucking 5 times out of the year, a whole weekend 5 times out of the year. I mean, a lot of people just don't have that luxury, depending on what they do for work. So it really, I really wish WWE would be more considerate and make things more congestible instead of just, and I know it's a typical WWE thing, though, so it doesn't surprise me. I wish they would, again, make things more digestible, and just be more considerate to their audience, rather than just going for the quick cash grab. It does suck, but at the end of the day, I mean, you can't say they're wrong, and morally they're wrong in doing it, but financially they're seeing a great return. So I understand their business aspect of it, but just for just making logical sense out of it, man, I wish they would just be a little bit more considerate towards their fan base, and just how
Oh, yeah.
digestible their product is. And less is more. And I don't want to see them push out too much to the point where it's like, this show did not have to be 2 nights. And I feel like we'll be saying that a lot.
I think we will. I think they'll try that way too much. And like you said, I think we'll say that a lot. It did not need to be 2 nights. You watch the Rumble for the Rumble. I don't watch it. A great undercard is great, but you get a show like Royal Rumble, you watch it for the Royal Rumble. I mean, come on here. You don't need fucking 5 undercard matches with split between 2 shows. It's just unnecessary. Like you said, doing too much. Less is always more, dude. I think that always, and I think that's what they should go with. But business wise, it's going to be great for them. So I think they'll definitely try it. I just don't think creatively it's going to be too great.
Yeah, me neither. And the thing is, too, you know, look at how the men's Royal Rumble turned out. Imagine how disappointed your audience is going to be when you specifically save this for one night. For
Oh, I'd be
one
so
night. This
mad. If
is,
I got
you get a 2 night show, and the second night is building up to this one match, and you've fucking dedicated 2 nights to this particular show, and it builds up to this one Rumble match, the men's Rumble match, the big one. And it sucks as bad as it did this year. I mean, imagine how, or same thing with Money in the Bank. You wait 2 nights just to see the fucking briefcase get thrown away in a night.
yeah, I would be fucking furious, dude. Like, if we got what we got this year with this year's Royal Rumble, at the end of a whole weekend, you gotta watch just to get to what could imagine it's this year's Rumble. I'd be so fucking pissed. I'd be so angry. You gotta realize less is more because if you do disappoint, it goes, I only sat here for 3 hours. That was really disappointing, but it is what it is. If I gotta sat here for what 4 hours, 5 hours in total between 2 nights, and it's that, I'd be so angry.
Yeah, and two, with Royal Rumble, you are coming out of almost nothing. I mean, it's always
Yeah.
a dead time of the year, building up to the Royal Rumble. Nobody, people might be in feuds, but I mean, it's very subtle. Everybody's just building to the Rumble match, so it's like none of the champions are really sinking their teeth into big feuds. That normally happens after the Rumble going into Mania. So what is so much that you have to make this 2 nights just to get more undercard shit on there?
I don't understand.
Because WrestleMania is WrestleMania. Coming out of the Royal Rumble, you start all your big feuds going into WrestleMania, and then going into SummerSlam, you come out of King of the Ring. You got your challengers for these shows. You got, newly Money in the Bank winners crowned. You got a bunch of shit going on, right? And if Triple
Mm.
H makes the summer as exciting as it was this year, right? You're seeing the debut of Fatu and this new bloodline and the Wyatt Six, and you're building to the Roman comeback. So, like, SummerSlam, I could absolutely see being 2 nights because your Triple H dedicated the whole entire summer to building up to make SummerSlam huge, and it was like a 7 match card or whatever. I would like to see that expanded to about a 10 match card, 5 matches on each night. I think is great. And
Mhm.
I think it warrants that. But Money in the Bank and Royal Rumble, again, Money in the Bank, you're coming out of King of the Ring, which doesn't build to Money in the Bank. King of the Ring builds to SummerSlam. You know what I mean? So I mean, what exactly is worth 2 nights of undercard shit just to, and especially with Royal Rumble, I mean, what, I mean, we're seeing, we're seeing Braun Breaker feud with who right now that would warrant
Yeah,
an undercard. I mean, who?
exactly.
I couldn't even tell you who the hell he's feuding with right now. So, and you're seeing Nakamura feud with who to build to a spectacular Royal Rumble undercard match. You're seeing War Raiders feud with Judgment
Either who?
Day. Which I mean, who wants to see that on a Royal Rumble undercard? I mean,
Judgment Day's cooked anyway, so what's
it,
the fucking point?
yeah, I mean, so I mean, if
Uh,
WWE wanted to put more emphasis on booking, um, booking better undercards, but I mean, the way history has treated it, Again,
I dig that.
DIY, you know, I mean, maybe they could be put against, you know, a Motor City Machine Guns and a Street Profits, you know, if you wanted to properly build that up. But um, I
They
just
probably
don't.
won't.
I just don't know what exactly is so big for these undercards that you would need to expand these both of these shows to 2 nights. It's a bit crazy to me, to be honest, man. But
Oh, 100%.
yeah, that's how I'm feeling about the 2 nights for Mania, or not, for Royal Rumble and Money in the Bank rather. And like I said, I'm left asking myself how much longer until they say, well, we got to add Survivor Series to this list too,
Yeah.
so we can end with the women's, we can end with the women's and we can end with the men's war games. Which again, imagine waiting a whole night one just to see what that women's war games was this year.
Like, dude, I want to get it done all one night. I want to start with one, have something in the middle, and with the other.
Mm.
Simple as that.
So yeah, that is the news on WWE wanting to expand Money in the Bank and Royal Rumble to 2 nights. John Cena, the GOAT,
Okay.
according to WrestleVotes, on the backstage pass, John Cena versus Logan Paul is on the table for WrestleMania 41 in April of 2025. There are several decently high up people within WWE that do not want the match to happen. Sources indicate the recent rumors of Logan versus Cena at WrestleMania have at the very least been discussed. However, the idea has been met with resounding disapproval from several within creative. The general feeling is that this should not be John Cena's final WrestleMania match. Do you
No
want to see
way.
Logan Paul versus John Cena, bro? And would you even fathom having that be John Cena's final WrestleMania match?
Do I want to see John Cena and Logan Paul wrestle? Yes. That I hope that match happens in 2025.
Mhm.
I think it'll be a good match. But WrestleMania? God no. God, whoever pitched that shit, what the fuck? I mean, come on, you're gonna waste John Cena's final career WrestleMania match on Logan Paul? That is that's an insane idea right there, man. Horrible idea. Do that, do that. I'm glad for the most part the backstage reaction is no to that. And that's a good thing because that is not a way to send Cena out on WrestleMania. That is not. I would like to see that match happen at some point. Maybe you got so many places it could happen all throughout the year, so the time and place don't really matter as long as it's not Mania. Mania is where you do something either really no matter what, it's got to be really big, obviously, but something for a new guy or a newer guy to Cena, like a Gunther or something, or something classic like Orton. It's got to be ain't none in between. It's got to be on that spectrum. Someone n- massive that's newer in the company, or someone that's massive that's older in the company that he has history with. He can't just be a fucking random ass Logan Paul just for the fuck of it. That ain't the moves. So no on the Logan Paul John Cena Mania match, but I would like to see the match obviously at some point during the year. Um but for WrestleMania, it's a god no from me, man. But what about you? Would you have that match at WrestleMania?
Yes. Well, first of all, before we get to that, Belle has arrived.
Look at
She's been
that.
on a week hiatus, and it's been different without you.
And
Things have
mm-hmm.
changed here, very
No,
much
that
so. Without Belle
truly.
in chat, things just haven't been the same. Hello, Belle. How
Mhm.
are you? How are you doing? She says she's ignoring the Mania rumors because people literally just say anything. Speaking of people
Look,
literally just saying anything,
you see the
I don't know what it is with these dirt sheets lately. They report like the same fucking things. Like they report like the same 3 stories at least once a week. I can't tell you how many times throughout the past 3 months I've seen, according to such and such. SmackDown's going to be moving to 3 hours in January. Like, bro,
We've been through this shit.
we've known this for like the better part of like 2 months now. I don't understand people, bro. I think we heard that shit for the first time back in like October.
Yeah, literally.
So people, I don't get it, and I'm still seeing it in my feeds, bro. SmackDown moving to 3 hours. It's like, dude, we know this, but
Do this shit.
I don't know. But yes, how are you, Bell? Thank you for joining us.
Oh yeah, 3 months ago it's our thumbnail. 3 months ago, fucking shows at 3 hours. We've been through this, and it was confirmed at that
Yeah,
point.
yep. So I don't know, but how do I feel about John Cena and Logan Paul? Is your question? I want to see them have a match similar to
Yeah.
you. I think with Logan Paul's attitude, and I guess sort of his like the way his character is, he like doesn't really respect the business. He's just a huge star. He's just an asshole who's a big social media star, mixed with John Cena, and obviously we all know his dedication and love for the wrestling business. So, I think that in itself is just an amazing story to tell, and I think it'll be an amazing match. However, that match needs to happen on like a Backlash or a Crown Jewel or a Saturday Night's Main Event or one of those shows. This is not a Mania match. This could have been a Mania match if it wasn't John Cena's last Mania match. I mean, if you wanted to throw this on a random WrestleMania where you didn't really have anything else for Cena to do, then okay. But against Logan Paul for Cena's final Mania, that's a hard no for me, and I'm glad it is being met with disapproval backstage, because I've thrown John Cena versus Gunther at the wall. We're about to bring you guys another idea apparently that's been thrown around with Cody. I think that's another good idea. But if you're not going to do a newer top level, a newer upper echelon guy like a Gunther or a Cody, you absolutely need to put him in there with a Punk, which I would save for Money in the Bank undercard.
Yeah.
A Punk or an Orton, obviously,
Mhm.
I would do something like that. Again, if you're not going to go with a Gunther or a Cody Rhodes or something like that, it obviously needs to be Punk or Orton, which
Oh,
again,
100%.
like I said, I would save Cena versus Punk for Money in the Bank, but that's
That's
just
just
me.
poetry.
Absolutely. What would that be? 13 years, 14 years to the pay-per-view? So, holy
Crazy.
shit.
God
God.
damn.
I still remember watching the pipe bomb as a little child, having absolutely no idea what was happening, and it was just such a weird atmosphere, and I was just like stunned. I was just stunned with CM Punk sitting there talking about the company's going to be better after Vince McMahon is dead, and I was stunned. Okay, I was stunned as a little child. So, crazy work, bro. But speaking of John Cena and Cody Rhodes, according to PW Insider, John Cena, and regarding his match at WrestleMania 41, currently the majority of the talk has circled around the idea of Rhodes versus Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship. The match has been mentioned by numerous sources over the last 2 weeks, as recently as December 26th. So this would be yesterday. Many of the sources noted that everything is subject to change, especially if The Rock wanted to work with either Cena or Rhodes at Mania, at which point any creative plans would be worked to fit into The Rock's vision.
No way.
I'm sorry, this is why
Good old.
this is why this is honestly, man, for as nice as it is to have The Rock around, because he really is great, I love his ability to just captivate an audience and just just add realism to a situation, and just he's great. He is. And as much as I love having The Rock around, these are the parts of having The Rock around where it really gets annoying. I'm
Hmm.
sorry, this is John Cena's last year. I don't give a fuck about your vision. Okay, I don't give a fuck about. Uh, let's fucking do what makes sense for John Cena's career. Okay, let's do what makes, and let's have the most fun out of Cena's final year that we possibly can. I mean, again, and for as much as I love having The Rock around and I love him being in the mix, and the final boss character is an awesome thing. This is, again, this is just this these are the parts of having The Rock around that just irritate me, because if Cena versus Rhodes is their plan, nobody should fuck that up. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
John Cena's last fucking year. Could you let him have this one, please? But it's The Rock we're talking about, and he wants, he wants his visions to come out into play, and he wants things how he wants things, and it is annoying, but yeah, I mean I really hope this all works out, and I really hope, again, whatever they're going to do with Cena, I hope they get the chance to do it without any fucking interruptions, because I'm sorry, 2025 should be all about John Cena, similar to how
Mhm.
Sting's last run, that whole 3-year run, it was all about Sting. Cena's only
Yeah.
getting a calendar year, okay? Sting got 3 years, and obviously it ended up being grand and amazing, and one of the best old guy run ever.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fact. But with Cena, he's getting a calendar year. Okay, can we please? I mean, could we not? Could we have this go interrupted exactly how you know
They want it.
Triple H's vision is to be wanted? I mean, if he wants Cena versus Cody, that's a match I fucking wanted for a very long.
Yeah.
I still want the match. I think it would be amazing. I think those two. I think those two. Um, Having a program together would be amazing. And I just really hope, whether it's Gunther, whether it's Rhodes, whatever it is, I hope we get it. And I'm, excuse me, I really think we are on the cusp of the most, what honestly will probably be the most unpredictable WrestleMania season ever. I mean, this is looking very interesting, bro.
It is. It's very unpredictable. Names getting thrown everywhere for every possible match. It's so just different this year with the way Mania and everything, Rumble, Mania, all this shit is so up in the air and just so nobody fucking knows, man. And it's good, but when it comes to The Rock, dude, like you said, dude, if that's their plan, where if they want to do Cena and Cody and Rock just comes in and fucks it all, you can't let that happen, dude. I mean, I get he's The Rock, but fuck, if you want to do something, you should be able to do it without him coming in and be like, well, I want to do this. So, like, no, this is what we're gonna do, because that's what we want to do. That's what we think is best. So, don't know what they're doing with Mania, with really any of these people, man. So, I guess we'll see how it comes, man. But I just hope they treat John Cena's Final Mania with, as big as it should be, because it should be massive. It should realistically be the biggest thing all year is his Mania match. So hopefully they treat it right, man. So I really hope they do.
Me too, bro. Me too. I really hope everything works out, man. And again, I really hope we can actually do what needs to be done for his final Mania season without having interruptions by The Rock. So
Yep.
now, I know The Rock sort of reserved his spot with Cody Rhodes for next year's WrestleMania, but at the end of the day, dude, this is John Cena's last year. I don't really care
Yep.
about your create. Rock can easily have a match with Roman, and if this really is their plan, he can easily do anything else. Now, if it's not their
Yeah.
plan, then it could make sense for him to face Cody. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to see him come back and try to shake up another Mania season with what he wants to do. So
Yeah.
um I hope not. But the good thing about The Rock, if he feels enough backlash, and if his PR status is as jeopardized as it was with the whole Cody Rhodes uh Roman Reigns debacle, then Rock will do the right thing. He just has to feel the pressure of bad publicity around his name.
Exactly.
So hopefully everything works out, and hopefully they do what they need for John Cena and his final WrestleMania match, which is it's going to be an emotional year. I can say that. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's going to be it's going to be an emotional year. It's going to be an interesting one, bro. So speaking of The Rock, his family, man, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. We brought to you guys last week. There was the idea of a Tribal Chief Championship. According to the Observer, regarding the reports of a new title being added called the Tribal Chief Championship, that is said that as of now, that is not happening.
Thank God.
Thank the Lord, because who in the hell? I mean, we told you guys last week. What the
Mhm.
fuck is the point of the Ulafala if you have a
Yeah.
Tribal Chief Championship? It goes from being the one of the most important objects in WWE today to a random necklace.
Exactly. And then you switch a great, piece of clothing, you could say, that's very meaningful to just a gimmicky title that no one cares about. It's like, keep the Ulafala. I'm so glad that they're not doing no tribal chief title. I think that was a horrible fucking idea in the first place. Um, and I don't know if that was just a plan anyway, or if it was more of just reaction from people that they're not doing it. But please do not just do random titles for nothing. And I mean, look what happened with the Crown Jewel title. It's garbage. No one gives a fuck about it. And I think they looked and saw that no one gave a fuck about it. And why would anybody?
Yeah, and also, what happens if you get to a point in the story where you have another long-standing tribal chief like Roman Reigns was? Are you just going to have this guy carry around this belt that's never defended, or that's
Doesn't mean
never
anything.
doesn't has absolutely no meaning? Like imagine there was a tribal chief title in 2020. You
Yeah.
mean to fucking tell me you're just gonna have a guy walking around with a belt for 3 years that has no meaning, and it's not defended because it can only really be defended against people in the family dynasty? So yeah, what the hell happens there? It never made
So
any
stupid.
sense. Yeah, it is, and it never made any sort of sense to introduce a tribal chief championship. I mean, look at Hook with the FTW championship. I mean, this guy was walking
Mm,
around with this belt for what, 2
mhm.
years, and nobody gave
Yeah.
a single ounce of a fuck about it, and rightfully so.
Oh, literally, man.
So that is that. Jumping back over to a bit of Cody Rhodes type news. According to WrestleVotes reports WWE is discussing having Cody Rhodes drop the title in 2025. I certainly hope so.
I would very much fucking hope so.
Possibly even as soon as WrestleMania 41.
Either that was my goal.
Yeah, yeah. It was noted that Drew McIntyre is currently at the top of the list internally to dethrone Rhodes in 2025. McIntyre is expected to be pushed heavily in 2025, like obviously we brought to you guys last week, as WWE has been a huge fan of his work with CM Punk this year and feels he now has all the tools to be positioned as a top face of the company going forward. This would also allow Rhodes to move to Raw on Netflix, as he was one of the names requested by the company in addition to Rhodes, Roman, and CM Punk, which is another story we brought to you guys. We coined it the Netflix Big Three.
Yeah.
With all this news about Cena being the match or Rock being the match, and now with McIntyre's name being added, is that something you want to see? How would you make sense out of that? And how do you feel? Well, before you even get to all that, how do you feel about McIntyre being the name to take the title from Rhodes in the first place?
I like that a lot, man. Personally, I would have done this stint right now where KO would have officially won it for some time being until, Cody won it back to, for a little bit. But I'm really mad that they didn't do that. But um I like McIntyre as the name. I would be very much okay with that. I think he's a phenomenal talent, had a phenomenal 2024, and if they're saying his 2025 is going to be better, that's going to be insane. Um, so I would like that. I like that he's the top name. I'm glad he's the top name, and I think that's a great name to have, defeat Cody for the title, man. But Mania is a fucking mystery, dude. We keep going on about it, but it's a fucking mystery. Now you got Drew's name in the hat, and you never know what it could be. I have no clue. I don't know if he'll have that title going into Mania at this point. Maybe he faces Rock without the title, because that's what Rock said. Doesn't matter if he got the title, he wants Cody. That's if we get the Rock. That's if we get Cody versus Cena. Then what does McIntyre do? Dude, all this shit is up in the air. I couldn't tell you how I'd do it right now. That's a whole fucking rabbit hole you gotta go down in. That might be saved for part of the predictions at the year-end review, man. Um, for the companies, man. But it's a whole lot of fuckery with fucking Mania this year with who's fucking facing what. What are they doing? Which titles going to this person? It's such a big mystery. But I like Drew being one of the top names. I like Drew being the top name. I really like that, man. I think he deserves it after the kick-ass year he had. Um, so I'd be down. They also mentioned in there Cody moving to Raw. Still don't know if that's happening. So if they get all three, that'd be really fucking crazy. That would mean they would split the unification of like the title designs up. Like you said before, I don't know that they would do that. It's just a big mystery leading into 2025, man. So I like that Drew's the top name. I really do. I think he deserves it. I think he should get the title in 2025, man. But with Mania and all this, I don't know how we're wet, dude. I couldn't tell you. But how about you, man? What do you think? How do you think? When do you think? And what do you think about Drew being the top name?
Uh, well, at face value, I like it. I like that Drew is I like that Drew is being discussed amongst these guys as one of the guys to take the championship from Cody. I like his name in the hat. How you make sense out of that, I'm not sure because of everything else going on around this. I mean, you got the possibility of Orton, you got the possibility of Cena, you got the possibility of The Rock. Now you throw McIntyre's name in that hat. Obviously, I think if this were to happen, I know it says in here as early as WrestleMania 41. Drew would have to be afterwards. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
way. Drew could be a possible name to win King of the Ring and go on to SummerSlam in New Jersey. I think it's in New Jersey next year, and beat Rhodes there because also you kind of have an interesting. I don't know if this still stands because their feud is over now, but CM Punk was very adamant about. I'm going to make sure Drew McIntyre never gets his hands on a championship as long as I'm breathing.
Hmm.
You know, how do you really make sense out of that? I know they're not feuding anymore, but I mean, you said as long as he was breathing and as long as you're
Yeah.
breathing. So, um I don't know, I guess that would just be dropped. But I mean, again, maybe Punk, feels indifferent now that, he beat him in Hell in a Cell. Maybe he doesn't really care what he does anymore, but that, I mean, that's something they would have to work around or make sense out of, but Drew's name in the hat is it's a lot, right? It's a lot because again, you have so many names up until this point in the hat. Drew makes the fourth. Okay.
Hmm.
Drew makes the fourth. And up until about 3 weeks ago, it would have been the fifth because Kevin Owens' name would have been in that hat too. But now I would take Owens' name out, personally. But we all know he's not beating him. But
Yeah.
again, you got Cena now, along with Randy and Rock, which people wanted to see. People really want to see Randy. Then you got The Rock, and now you got McIntyre. So I will say you got a lot of options, but if Cody manages to make it past WrestleMania with that championship, regardless on who he faces, if he manages to make it past that show, I would say I would definitely say McIntyre would be a top name, and I would honestly prefer Drew over Randy personally.
Oh, I would say same.
I just don't think Randy. I think Randy and Cody's going to be a great story. I
But
don't
you
think
need it.
I don't think Randy needs to be the guy per se to necessarily dethrone Cody Rhodes. I like the name of McIntyre. I
I
like the
do.
name of McIntyre a lot. I think Drew had a career year, and I think he's very deserving of said championship. So
I
um
think so.
with yeah, I mean, just with the amount of story that he's been able to tell, and everything that's just been centered around um his name, this year, the feud with Punk, and all that other stuff, all that other stuff mixed between. I just think it's been great. It's been a great year for him, and I think there's probably nobody in the company more deserving of a top world title run than Drew McIntyre.
Oh, 100%. I think he definitely deserves it.
He has mastered the role of being the champion without the championship.
He has.
Yes, and I'm happy that WWE feels that he now can be positioned to be a top
How?
baby face in the company, which I don't know how. I mean, Vince. I don't know how Vince made these guys look at Drew, but I think a lot of us have always at least seen it in
Wait,
him.
literally since he fucking returned, fucking put him back on the main roster with fucking Dolph Ziggler. I think we all knew from that point, like, oh yeah, this guy is it, bruh. Like,
Yeah.
we always knew that. I don't get why they just realize that now for some reason.
Yep. Triple H took it upon himself with all the rumors of McIntyre leaving the company. He really took it upon himself to grant Drew the probably some of the most best creative, you know,
Hmm.
I remember at the time Drew's big concern was creative. He
Yeah,
wanted creative. He didn't want to just be a random guy on the roster coming out with a sword and, you know, coming out and just doing his Scottish gimmick, his warrior Scottish gimmick. And, his big concern was creative. And Triple H really granted him with, I mean, some of the, I mean, what a promise that was. Seriously, man, what a promise that was for great creative. I mean, he really hooked Drew up with the creative aspect, and
he did.
and gave him just one of the most just in-depth, amazing fucking character arcs we've probably ever fucking seen, man. I mean, it's absolutely incredible, with the stuff that he's been able to do with this character arc, and he really deserves it, man. And I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy that he's sitting in this position where he's being looked at as a future world champion.
Oh, 100%.
So yeah, but yeah, I think McIntyre is a good name. I think McIntyre is a good name to dethrone Cody, and like I said, if Cody makes it past WrestleMania, I think McIntyre probably would be at the top of my list to take the title from him. I think that's a great option.
Most definitely.
Speaking of one of Cody's potential dethroners, Randy Orton. According to Chris Featherstone, Randy Orton is currently not scheduled to be a part of Raw's debut on Netflix.
Wow. It's like the only person in the fucking planet to not be scheduled for that show.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I I'm a bit shocked by this because anytime we hear a name, we hear they're scheduled for the Raw on Netflix. So
Literally everybody, the whole roster besides Randy Orton.
yeah. Um, how are you feeling about this, man? Did you feel that the Raw on Netflix debut needed Orton, and how are you feeling about him missing the show?
I think it could have been a good dynamic, man, but I mean, you that show's fucking stacked to the brim already, man. I don't think I think you got enough people scheduled for that show, man. So I don't think it would really be a detriment. But what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all would have liked to see Orton on the show, but the fact of the matter is, you know, Orton Orton didn't need to be on the Raw the Raw debut on Netflix, man. He didn't need to be on there, and I'm assuming I'm assuming Orton probably, just we all know Orton's a big family man, and I honestly think he probably just wants, he wanted the build up to Christmas and probably a little after New Year's off just to spend with the family. So I completely
Yeah,
understand that. I completely understand Orton's aspect or his desire to be with his family with Christmas and New Year's around the corner. So I completely understand. And, you know, I overall don't think, not saying anything bad about Orton, but I don't think the Raw on Netflix needed him anyway. I mean, his whole
no,
feud is centered around Kevin Owens anyway, and Kevin Owens is on SmackDown. If anything, I see him popping up on the first SmackDown 3 hour show.
yeah, definitely.
So we're inching closer though, bro. We have one more Monday Night Raw before the Raw on Netflix. So
Crazy.
speaking of Monday Night Raw, the tag team champions over there on the brand, the War Raiders, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful. The claim internally within WWE is that the World Tag Team Championships will be defended more with the War Raiders now as the current champions. I certainly fucking hope so.
Yeah, I love the War Raiders, but with or without them, they should be to fucking defended more and showcased more. You should do more for your tag teams in general on both shows.
Yeah, it shouldn't have taken the War Raiders becoming champions to, you know, for something to click in your brain. All these titles need to be defended more. They
Yeah,
needed to be defended more when you had Finn fucking Balor and JD McDonough as the champions, because how in the hell do you pass up on tag team opportunities with Finn Balor and JD McDonough? JD McDonough is one of the most underrated guys on that roster right now. And
he
Finn
is.
Balor is Finn fucking Balor. I mean, what you had those two guys as tag team champions, and they defended the titles. I don't think they. I know for a fact they didn't even get to double digits. I don't even know they make it off one hand with the amount of
Well,
time they defended those championships. Maybe 2 or 3 times in the 170 something days they held the titles. I mean, what the fuck is that? It's Finn
oh, literally.
Balor and JD McDonough. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, I see these guys in Ireland. I'm seeing fucking JD McDonough give package pile drivers to these motherfuckers. They're just going crazy on the Irish indies, on the Irish independent scene. And we can't get these guys fucking defending the titles. We need the War Raiders to defend the titles. What?
So frustrating.
That's a weak ass move. And again, when Finn Balor and JD McDonough won the tag titles, I was excited. I was like, yo, Finn Balor and, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, were okay,
Fine.
you know, but with the style of Balor and McDonough, I seen that as very fast paced, very exciting. I was like, oh, okay, these guys. all right, these guys are probably going to go nuts. This is another reason, speaking of the Raw Tag Division, this is another reason why I didn't want Imperium to break up. Everybody
No,
loves Ludwig Kaiser on his own. I don't really see that, to be honest. I don't understand why the hell you broke
you
up
broke.
Giovanni Vinci and Kaiser. They were a fantastic tag team. They could have
They were.
easily went up against the Judgment Day and had a fucking insane tag team match.
They really could have.
And I don't get it. I don't get how you passed up Finn Balor and JD McDonough, two fantastic workers, as your tag team champions, to add a little excitement or be dominant heel champions that defended the titles menacingly across your brand. I don't get that. I don't get why you needed the War Raiders to do that. But now that the War Raiders are the champions, I really hope those titles get defended more, because I would hate to see the War Raiders sitting around doing absolute fuck all with the championships the same way that McDonough and Balor did. So
Oh, 100%.
that is the news on WWE's mindset with having the War Raiders hold the Raw Tag or the World Tag Team Championships. Speaking of the Raw Tag Team division, another team or another group, a part of the division, American Made. This is according to WrestleVotes on the Backstage Pass. American Made is expected to shift over to the SmackDown brand during the new year. The feeling within WWE Creative that placing younger talent on SmackDown will do wonders, considering the move to 3 hours. Yes. How are you? Oh. He has left us for the time being, but bro, this is exactly what I was talking about, bro. With American Made, I've been telling you guys for weeks. I want to see American Made make the jump over to Friday Night SmackDown, bro. They just fit. They just fit that SmackDown vibe. And again, I talked rigorously about how the Raw brand being the show with all your heavy hitters, right? Raw being your show with your top stars and your Punks and your Romans and all these kind of guys. While I want to see SmackDown go to that 2016 vibe where it wasn't necessarily young guys, it just wasn't guys that would be given the opportunity without there being a brand split. And again, guys like Ambrose, Ziggler, Miz, Baron Corbin, AJ Styles was a huge one. AJ Styles would have absolutely, there he is. AJ Styles would have absolutely never been a WWE champion without the brand split on SmackDown.
Mhm.
I mean, maybe eventually, but in 2016, in his first year in the company, he would have never been a WWE champion if it wasn't for the brand split. So, with American Made moving over to SmackDown, Chad Gable and American Made and the Creed brothers, they just fit that vibe for Friday Night SmackDown. They fit that vibe for just up and coming guys or guys that, you know, haven't been given the most of opportunities. I think this is a great move, and I think this is one that I again would love to see, with SmackDown moving more to that the show for the underdogs. I love that concept, and I think American Made is a great move for Friday Night SmackDown. How do you feel about American Made moving over to Friday Night SmackDown, and what do you think this could do for them overall?
I think it's great, dude. I think it's fucking great. I think it's what we said, and I think it's the way to go, man. I think They're going to do so much better, have so much more opportunity and just time on fucking SmackDown, and I think it's a great idea. It's what they should do. And I like how it's the overall idea with SmackDown, putting younger people to get more opportunities. That's the whole point, man. That's the whole point. That's the whole vibe to SmackDown. That's what worked back in 2016. And I think that's what they could capture um, in 2025, man. So I think it's a really good decision and a good move, and I like it, man. I think it's going to be really fucking good for them. I'm glad they're doing that. And I'm very intrigued to see whether that could happen with other people going to SmackDown. I'm very, very intrigued to see, the likes of talent that join them in that spotlight on SmackDown. I'm very excited.
Most definitely. Most definitely, man. Well, speaking of somebody who's not getting any opportunity in
Mhm.
WWE, Omos. According to Fightful, it's been a while since we heard his name. According to
Well,
Fightful, there is no word as to why he's not on TV, but he does occasionally do media for the company. Uh,
I mean,
I don't. If if you're upset about this
I,
move, I don't know what to tell you
uh,
because oh, Omos was not. He was no good,
he was
bro.
he was
Um,
an attempt. It was a failed attempt, but he was an attempt, and it didn't work out, man. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he was, um, I mean, from from what I've seen from him and from what I've seen from him doing media for the company, I think he does a good job at that. I think he does
yeah.
a good job at doing media in terms of him as a character, man. I mean, it was never gonna work. I mean, if Omos was in the fucking new generation era or the golden era, I think he would have been an absolute stud. In
Oh, fuck.
2000 in 2023, 2024 going into 25, he is not the kind of act people are looking for. He is nothing more than height
Yep.
in between those ropes and nothing else. I mean, and that's he was a Vince project, and he was a guy that I think would have absolutely been pushed to the fucking moon had Vince McMahon stayed in power. Omos
Oh
is
yeah.
not good. He's not good. Okay, to put it bluntly, he's just not good, man. And they didn't see anything for him, and I think a lot of the fan base doesn't really see anything other than height in the guy either. So, I mean that's just gonna have to end right there. But yeah, I mean that's what Omos was, and he's still under contract, and I think in due time, I think he will end up being released. And I know MVP likes him, so who knows, man? Maybe he's gonna be hurting people soon with the Hurt Syndicate. I don't know if I would do that,
Uh,
but
fuck.
but yeah, I mean Omos was not good, and I honestly don't expect him to be brought back.
No, I really don't. He was an experiment. The experiment failed. It is what it is, man. Omar seems like a nice, humble guy.
Yeah,
Something that other bald people can learn from, especially in the pro wrestling business. If you're a bald guy, you should be
yeah.
maybe a little more respectful and humble. So it sucks in that regard, but I mean, he just wasn't a phenomenal wrestling talent. Like you said, he was tall back in the golden days or whatever, back in
The
the
golden
80s. He probably
age.
would have fucking golden, yeah, right. He would have been great. He would have been a fucking star back then. He would have been
Oh yeah,
mixing it up with Hulk Hogan, man. Poor guy. But it's 2024. It's just not gonna work. He was just tall, and that was it, man. So sucks for him, man. It does, but he just wasn't gonna make it in this current age, man. And it is what it is, man. It sucks. Wish the best for him, whatever he does. But like you said, I don't think we'll see much of him, if not at all, for the rest of his, contract. And I think he'll be one that's eventually let go.
definitely, man, definitely. Yeah, I mean, again, like you said, bro, he does seem like a nice guy, and he is very humble, and he seems like a very cool dude. But unfortunately, man, in between those ropes, I don't think he fits with this era. of
No.
WWE needs whatsoever. So, if you're looking for a giant, if you're looking for a monster type character in WWE, you're more so,
Looking at a Bronson Reed
I was gonna
type guy.
say Triple H's track record. He's done a very good job with not necessarily height, but more of so those
Speed.
as Bronson Reed would call them, the thick boys, those
Yeah.
thicker guys that can do it all, but they're
They got that weight to them that, like, not it's not a weight, it's
it's like
just
mass.
more of a they got a lot of mass, and it's a weight that just you got 200 plus pounds just coming at you at full speed. It's
Yeah,
gonna fuck you up, and that's what people want to see. And I think that's this era's version of a big tall guy is just a big guy. He's got that mass on him, and he's just gonna hit you like a fucking truck, and it's fucking great, man. So I think
yeah.
that's really this era's version of that type of big guy, and I think Triple H has it in Bronson Reed, Jacob Fatu. You got the War Raiders. You got people already that fill that role, man.
Yes, and they have more. They have more
Mm-hmm.
coming. They got Braun
They do.
Breaker, Obafemi. I mean,
Right?
Obafemi is in
He's
NXT, has the most upside or out of anybody. Um because he can do it all. Like legitimately, he can do it all. He can sell. He can be on offense. He has those powerful moves that are gonna pop a crowd, and he. I mean, when you talk about a sleeping giant, Obafemi is a fucking sleeping giant, just
mm-hmm.
waiting to just be fulfilled on the main roster in terms of his booking and whatever. Um and I think they're gonna do amazing with Obafemi. But yeah, I mean, Omas. I mean, it just yeah. I mean, like you said, when you're talking about big monster guys in WWE, you're looking at Obafemi, you're looking at
Mm-hmm.
Fatu, you're looking at Breaker, Bronson. We seen it for a little bit when Ivar was a singles. You're looking
Yeah.
at guys like that. Um, not so much guys like, and I mean, he does kind of have taller guys that are used good, not as tall as Omas, but you see guys like Gunther and Damian Priest, guys that do have a little height on them. So those are the kind of guys that I think we're gonna see a bit more of in terms of your big monster characters. Yeah, but yeah, so that's the news on Omas, and that is the news on I guess his status right now in WWE, or lack thereof. Jumping back, I know we were just a couple stories ago talking about the Raw Tag Team division. Let's talk about a team that would have been in the Raw Tag Team division, the Lucha Brothers. Right? Now we're getting Pentagon Jr. coming into the WWE, but according to the Observer, they gave us an update on how things would have went down with the Lucha Brothers and their situation. They say the Pentagon and Ray Phoenix situation happened because they both felt they stagnated in AEW and they knew WWE was interested. Tony Khan thought he could keep them by offering more money. Nice. Which apparently he did, but they had already made the call to go. When Tony Khan and others wanted to talk about renewing their deal, they told people in AEW to talk to their agents rather than them. At that point, AEW knew they were gone, and Khan made the decision not to use them on television. Which, if Tony didn't want to use them, fine. But don't add time to his fucking deal. I mean,
Hey,
what is that? But anyways, I just had to throw that in there, bro. And I mean, same dude. I mean, same situation with Ricky Starks, bro. If you feel they're gone, if they point signs to you that they're leaving and you don't want to use them, that's their
yeah,
choice. But don't go out of your way to keep them there to be a dickhead. But
yeah.
anyways, do you feel this is a this is this is a pretty stupid question, I know, man. But do you feel the Lucha Bros stagnated in AEW, and what is your opinion on, you know, Tony Khan thinking that he could keep them just by offering more money? What do you think that says about Tony as a leader, and how do you feel about them stagnating in AEW, man? I know you were just huge on their run with Alex Abrahantes.
You fucking dork, dude. Oh man. Um, who hasn't stagnated in AEW? But Lucha Bros were definitely one of
I've
those guys
stagnated
that
in AEW. It's so
fuck.
bad. I mean, it's gone beyond the roster.
Like, bro, MJF has stagnated. No one is safe. Good lord. Um, yeah, everyone stagnated. They were very stagnated. They were stuck with a fucking running dork, fucking Alex Oberhantes, fucking killing the act, killing the vibe. They were doing nothing. They were they were just there, dude. They were just there. And Tony Khan, this is perfect example of Tony Khan's one of
Oh,
his biggest problems. We're frustrated. We feel like we're stagnated. It's a booking thing, and that's our big issue. It's a whole booking thing, you know. And Tony Khan's response is literally, "You want more money? You're gonna sign for more money? I know it's a creative thing, but I got money. You need money? It's all it is. That is it. That just sums up everything wrong with Tony Khan's booking because he doesn't do it. He just gives people money. Just oh, you want to leave? How about some money? You're not sure which company you should go to? I got money. That's all Tony Khan is a paycheck, and we
mhm.
I mean look at Mercedes, fucking the things like last week where she was on live and people are telling her like that she, you know, is mediocre now or whatever, and the first thing she says is I'm as rich as I've ever been. If that doesn't tell you the whole reason to go to AEW, the whole is money. They're scamming the fuck out of this dude because this dude, he lets you. He'll give you fucking all the money in the world to just sit home and do nothing. And he'll do it no problem. He literally was about to do that with the Lucha Bros. We want to leave. We feel like we stagnated. We want better creative. I will give you more money. Biggest problem with Tony Khan, it's all he thinks about is money this, money that. No wonder half his characters on TV cares about money because that's all he cares about. Um,
It's relatable
for
for sure.
someone it's very relatable. Even though for someone that's getting fucking blacklisted from his own father's companies. But I digress. It's just a major problem with AEW is just with Tony Khan. Really, is just that's all he could ever offer you is money because he can't creatively do anything at this fucking point. Um, so dude, when I read that shit, I just fucking laughed because like, what? These guys are frustrated and are thinking about leaving your company for the sole reason of just creative. They want to do more. They want to be more important. They want to do this on TV, that, and all you could do is just offer a bigger paycheck. No wonder your company is creatively fucking dead. Um,
Yep.
so good for the Lucha Bros. I mean, I'm glad that they're making the decision. They made the decision. It's we are stagnated. We care more about our career than money. We're gonna get money anyway. We're that big of a stars. Let's go, but let's go make some, make some real money, make some creative money, and then make money at the same time. You don't think they're gonna make a shit ton of money off their mask alone from merch sales? Ah, dude, I bet you when that motherfucker Penta debuts, first thing they're gonna drop is that fucking Lucia mask on WWE Shop, and it's gonna fucking sell its ass off. They're gonna make money. So all Tony Khan are offering all that money doesn't mean a whole lot because they're gonna make it anyway and have the creative too. Tony Khan, it offering nothing special anymore, man. That's my opinion. It's very just telling of the whole AEW Tony Khan problem. But what do you think about all this, man? What was your reaction and do you what's your whole take on this situation? Because I thought it was hilarious.
Uh, I thought it was I thought it was absolutely sad. I thought it was absolutely fucking sad, bro. I mean, these guys feel they stagnate. Okay, let me make a parallel, very
Okay.
similar situation to a guy we just talked about like a couple
True.
30 minutes ago. Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
Drew McIntyre felt creatively he stagnated in WWE just, earlier last year. Or not earlier last year. Earlier 2023. He had felt he stagnated. After WrestleMania, he was gone, right? Contract was coming up. Everybody was wondering, what's going to happen with Drew? What's happening with Drew? Triple H could have abso-fucking-lutely, when Drew came to him and said, "Look, man, I'm creatively frustrated. I want to do more. I don't want to be a guy on the roster. I want to be the guy on the roster." Triple H could have absolutely said, "Oh, well, you're not going to AEW. We're WWE, TKO, whatever the fuck we are. We're going to open our checkbooks and we're going to pay you $50 million a year, Drew. Come on, stay with us. We're gonna pay you $150 million a year to stay with the WWE." What got Drew McIntyre to stay? Was it the money? It was fucking creative. And boy, did Triple H come through on his promise. Because that guy is one of the most creatively sound people in the company right now.
Yeah.
Creative is on point. That's what gets people to stay. At least people like, some people, MJF, I guess money was good enough. I guess money was good. Soraya, I guess money was good enough to stay.
Yep.
However, not for guys like Drew McIntyre, and apparently not for people like Pentagon and Rey Fenix, the Lucha Brothers. They stagnated. They felt they stagnated in AEW. They're creatively frustrated. And all you thought you could keep them with was money? How about you fucking use them, Tony? And then they would not leave. They would not want to leave. Because money doesn't mean shit to people with passion. To people that want to show up and be a part of a memory. Do something special. Do something worth fucking while. And your solution, of course, typical Tony Khan, is I'm going to throw money at them. These people do not care. They do not care about your money. Now, obviously, you got to pay your bills, but they want to do something special. The Lucha Bros want to show up and be considered as one of the best tag teams on the planet. They don't want to show up and be used when fucking Tony Khan snaps his fingers and decides that he wants to use them. That's not what they're there for. They want to be used. And as a leader, you should be able to listen and say, "Whoa," and you should be fucking all ears and say, "Look, you guys are AEW originals. We obviously want to fucking keep you here. We love having you guys around. So what is it going to take? Because if it's money, I got money. If it's creative, we can talk."
Yeah, it's simple. And now with Tony Khan, it's just money. And you don't think when you got passionate people like Drew, like Lucha Bros, etc., that they choose passion over money. Eventually, you get guys like Drew. I mean, look at him. He's money. He gets the money through the passion. You don't think that money feels more special when you get it through passion instead of just getting it thrown at you like you're a fucking stripper, like Tony Khan does? It makes it more special. It makes it feel more earned. Exactly. That's all you are to him is just, "Oh, I'll throw money at you. You'll stay." You're not special to him. You're just someone who stayed for his money. I don't know how you could feel respected after that. I fucking wouldn't. So I'm really glad the Lucha Bros fucking did that, man. I respect the fuck out of them for that.
Yeah, and again, I mean, it's fucking demoralizing, and then they wonder why half the fucking people that work here have to seek medical or mental help when they're done.
Yeah.
Well, we all know they're not getting medical help, but
I ain't getting that.
but
I'll tell you.
these people have to seek mental health help when they're done, because all this guy does, he doesn't fucking respect you. He doesn't. I mean, how demoralizing is that? Like, "Hey, boss, I'm thinking about leaving, da 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 da, creative this or whatever. Oh well, I got more money. Who the fuck do you think I am? Do you
Like,
who the hell do you think I am, dude? Like I'm not. I want to show up and feel like I earned this paycheck. I don't. I don't want to just be here as another guy on the roster that got fucking shimmied into staying with the company because you got money
yeah,
and I'm a sucker for it. I mean, what the fuck is that? I mean, I really respect the Lucha Bros for this, bro, and I'm glad they got the fuck out of there, or at least are on the cusp of getting the fuck out of there. Because yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous, bro. This is absolutely ridiculous. And again, I could see why they felt disrespected and why they felt they needed to go.
mm-hmm.
I could absolutely see why they felt they needed to go. They stagnated, and all you have to combat this with is money. I mean, get the fuck out of my face, dude. I mean, what is that?
So sad, dude. So fucking sad.
So that is the news on the Lucha Bros, and that is the news on I guess their situation and how that all went with AEW, man. And again, it is just a sad situation that is all Tony Khan resorts to is
It's just
money, money, money.
Mm-hmm. Always.
Speaking of another luchador, Bandito. Dave Meltzer gave an official update on the status of Bandito. We are told Bandito did suffer a concussion Friday night from landing on the back of his head doing a missile drop kick after the Jericho win over Matt Cardona. So far, there is no timetable on Bandito's return, but usually with concussions, there is no timetable. So, could be 2 weeks, could be a month, could be 9 months, like Adam Cole. We talked about it a little bit on Monday. I was really waiting till Friday until an official word came out, and obviously, we are getting it confirmed that Bandito did suffer a concussion. How the fuck you aired 3 vignettes on Dynamite to pull this dude back up in Ring of fucking Honor is some of the just most absolute craziest fucking work Tony Khan has ever done. And the fact this is what you were going to roll with is Bandito on a Ring of Honor push. First of all, a Ring of Honor push does not exist. There's
No.
Athena's getting a Ring of Honor push, and nobody fucking knows that she's down there.
No. Because no one watches the fucking show.
You brought this guy back on Ring of Honor. He gets fucking concussed. You have a referee hop in the ring, go over to him, and you could clearly tell just watching it, he is not there. The referee walks up to him and then just walks away, and they continue with the spot. Are you fucking are you fucking delusional? I mean, what? I mean, this was one of the most horrible looks. I mean, what in the blue fucking hell? I mean,
Insane,
AEW, I mean, you are already in hot water with all this lack of medical attention to Rey Fenix. And this is what you do, and this is not their first time. Do we all remember Rey Fenix's match against Jon Moxley when Moxley got concussed, and Rey Fenix and Rey Fenix they decide to go with a fucking pile drive finish for the match after this dude was concussed, and the ref is just going about his business. I mean, what the this is not the fucking first time this has happened.
Oh,
When are we
horrible.
going to snap the fuck into it before somebody seriously gets hurt?
It's gonna happen at this point with this company because they don't do nothing. They have the lesson happens and they never learn from it, and it's just gonna keep happening, dude. And it's a fucking travesty. You got people like Bandito and Mox, people that get injured in their own rings, and the ref just fucking just looks at them and just turns every time.
Yeah.
Horrible ref, horrible medical communication, all of it fucking garbage, and it's just another fucking tick in your sloppy shop that you fucking run.
Look at the shit that happened with Sammy Guevara and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah,
Jeff Hardy gets concussed and we go with a 6:30 finish, which again, like I was very critical last year of the Moxley and Ray Phoenix. This
yeah.
guy is concussed, and you guys decide to go with a pile drive finish? I mean, are you fucking stupid? I
And
mean, what?
not yelling at the refs here to fucking stop the shit. What the fuck?
And if you're Ray Phoenix, did he communicate with the ref? Because if he didn't, then what the fuck? And if he did, then what the fuck is the ref doing? I
Yeah,
mean, if you're Phoenix and you're working with this guy, I'm sorry, you know Jon Moxley is out of it.
you could tell. You could fucking tell, dude.
And we decide to go with a pile drive finish? Yeah, that's really smart to the guy that
Oh
just
yeah.
got concussed. So, in this case with Bandito, this guy gets concussed, ref hops in the ring. You can tell. This guy didn't get up from a missile drop kick. And everybody's sitting in the ring like, right there, everybody knew this guy's delirious.
Yeah,
The ref
it's always so obvious.
ref goes over to him, checks on him, and you're good? I mean, what the fuck? This guy's concussed. I mean, are you how technically out of fucking sound is everybody? And Bandito gets up and what happens? He fucking kicks Big Bill right in the fucking balls. I mean, what? I mean,
It's sad, dude.
I mean, what the fuck are we doing? And on top of all of that, you bring this fucking guy back on Ring of Honor. Come on. I mean, you are just stackpiling the shit right now. I mean, what are you doing? Ugh.
So fucking sad, dude. It's so sad. Just his creative mind, his production mind, it's horrid, dude. It's so bad, it's non-existent. And it's a detriment to the company, it really is.
And this guy's on the media scrum. This is one of the best final battles we've ever produced.
Oh, dude, did you see what someone finally asked about Ricky Starks.
Good.
They asked, will we see him in 2025? This man says verbatim, you never know who you could see in 2025 with the mother of all simulcast, and that's it. That's what he says in question to Ricky Starks, is just fucking advertise the mother of all simulcast.
What?
Biggest fraud ever, dude.
Did you see they're putting that on graphics? I keep seeing when I was catching up on Dynamite. They kept playing TBS Max, and on the graphic it literally said the mother of all simulcast. Like what the? Oh, Bell brings up another great instance. I'll
Man,
never
Hardy.
forget watching 2020. I remember I went to the bathroom, I came back, Sir K's face is about as white as a fucking ghost, and his jaw is on the ground, and I'm seeing Matt Hardy stumbling around, and I'm like, "You good?" And he's like, "Bro." I'm like, "What happened? What did I miss?" And you literally said Matt Hardy's head just bounced off the fucking concrete like a basketball. And I'm like, "Huh?" And
Bro.
they're continuing the match. Matt's fucking stumbling around like it's 9 a.m. And he's stumbling around, and you could clearly tell this guy. And then what do they have him do? They say, let's go to the finish. And what is the finish? They have this dude climb a fucking scaffolding. What the what? I mean, I could say, I couldn't see any of this being plausible, but At least if your finish was a quick little twist of fate, which again, that even is a back bump, why is he bumping after he just got concussed? But what do you decide to have him do? Let's have him climb a scaffolding about 30 feet in the air, concussed. Are you fucking stupid or what?
Kill me.
And then Tony's response was, well, we had him rush right to the trainers. Yeah, before that, you had him climb a scaffolding.
You should have been rushed to the trainers the second that happened. Cancel the match, call it off, end it right there.
And
it's okay.
As a boss, I don't give a shit if your guys are like, well, we gotta finish the match. I don't give a shit.
No. Woohoo, it ends right here. You're not going to wrestle like that. I never care. You're never going to do a match injured. And if you get injured during the match is over. I don't care. It could be the fucking main event of WrestleMania. If you get that hurt, it's done.
And yes, dude, Rebby, I remember
All
that
right.
Twitter rant, which rightfully so. I mean, she had every reason to be like, you fucking idiots. This guy has, this guy has a wife, kids. This guy has a family. He does. This guy has a fucking family, and his poor kids probably had to see his head fucking bounce off the cement like a basketball, and then him proceed to climb a 30-foot scaffolding. Nice.
Fucking A.
What a joke. Bandito's hurt. Again, I reiterate, what a fucking joke.
Good Lord.
That is the status of Bandito. He is concussed, and when he does come back, I hope you learned your lesson. Probably not. I hope you learned your lesson, but if you didn't learn your injury lesson, I really hope you learned your lesson on. I hope you learned your lesson on airing vignettes on Dynamite to have this fucking guy return on ROH.
Good Lord.
Why didn't you bring him back for the Mother of All simulcast?
Mother of All simulcast.
I mean, come on, man. Speaking of another return, that did not happen, or will not happen, in AEW. Ty Conti, or Ty Mello, will be making her return to pro wrestling on January 3rd in Stardom.
Dude, you got people not even wanting to come back and return in your own company. You're cooked. You're done. Come on, bruh.
She'll be making her return on January 3rd in Stardom, where she will team up with Mina Shirakawa to face Thekla and Athena.
Oh, my God.
This will be Ty's first match since March 11th, 2023.
Holy shit, it's been, oh my God.
Yeah, a year and a half.
Holy shit. And she returned to not AEW while signing to AEW. Good Lord. What do you say at that point besides just Tony Khan, man? Tony Khan.
I'm lost at this point. I'm so lost. I mean, what? I mean, what? I mean, like, all right. Okay, well, you return. You have Ty Mello, Ty Conti, Ty Guevara, whatever you want to call her. She's coming back to the company in not a place than AEW. So we're seeing this with Omega. We're seeing this with the Young Bucks. These guys are showing up in other places. Nobody wants to be there. And what does that say?
Nobody wants to fucking be there in the slightest.
What an absolute joke, bro. I wish her the best in her return. And, when we do see her, I know Guevara is in Ring of Honor because he did not want to do things with Chris Jericho, and he's stuck in Ring of Honor. I could see her being brought back to Ring of Honor. But I mean, this company is just. I'm so lost, and I can't wait for predictions.
I can't.
I can't wait for these predictions on these AEW predictions for 2025 in on Monday for unscripted, bro, because this is laughable, man. I mean, this is fucking laughable.
Oh,
Another
truly,
person Another person contractually obligated to AEW not coming back in AEW. What, I don't even know what to say anymore, bro.
literally, bro. Literally.
Before we get to the final AEW story, we do have a story on another woman in the realm of professional wrestling, man. Jordan Grace, TNA's Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace's last contracted dates with TNA Impact are of the weekend of TNA Genesis on January 19th, 2025. That following weekend, Grace is set to hit free agency. There is interest from WWE, and Grace would be a free agent in time for the Royal Rumble. This is via Fightful Select. Yeah, this is a no-brainer. Jordan Grace is not going to AEW. We all know damn
Yo.
fucking well where Jordan
Mhm.
Grace is going. And I honestly think Jordan Grace might be headed straight for the main roster.
Oh, I think so, and I think that's the best move, and I think that's what they're gonna do, man. I'm excited. Phenomenal talent, dude. Fucking awesome, and I think she's gonna go, and I think we're gonna see her at the Rumble, dude.
She would be great for that SmackDown brand, or even
She will.
maybe, depending on what you do with Rhea at Mania, maybe you do Jordan
That'd be a,
Grace.
that'd be a fire match. That really
Yeah,
would be.
that would be. So she's putting over Tessa Blanchard on the way out. Against her
Poor soul.
request, she's putting over Tessa Blanchard, and looks like that's going to be the wrap up for Jordan Grace, man. So I wish her the best, and I think we all know where she's going, man. I don't think I think it would be one of the biggest shocks of the year if she went to the land of All Elite.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's their own fucking EVPs aren't doing that, so I doubt Jordan Grace would have.
Yeah, absolutely not. Um, According to the Observer, AEW Shockwave. I know we were all pumped for
Oh, we were.
Shockwave on Fox. According to the Observer, Fox is no longer interested in broadcasting AEW's newest show, AEW Shockwave. Even though AEW tried selling the show. AEW tried selling the show to Fox. It has been declined by the brand as oh, yes. Yes, my bad. I just completely spaced out so hard. Okay. AEW yes, they declined broadcasting AEW's newest show, AEW Shockwaves, after attempts to get it on the network. This was due to declining ratings in AEW.
But I thought AEW fans said the ratings don't matter. Even though it used to matter when they had good ratings, but when they have bad ratings, it doesn't matter. I thought that was the case, man.
Yep.
First of all, my question is, how do you sell a show who's the prior version of that show that you had literally got canceled? They literally said Shockwave is just gonna be like the new Rampage. How do you sell that? What is the sell? Yeah, it's gonna be like this show. It got canceled, but it's gonna be exactly like this show. How do you sell that, bro? How do you sell it? How do you sell it with your ratings? How do you sell it with your audience numbers? How do you sell it with your fucking creative? It's fucking horrible, dude. I mean, I didn't want the show to exist in the first place. First of all, that is the most Tony Khan name ever. Shockwave. Um, Bro was just watching Transformers and like, I fucking love the character Shockwave. Fuck it, dude. Let's name our fucking show that. That's all I fucking hear is fucking Transformers. Um, AEW Shockwave got canceled before it was fucking. They said no. Why wouldn't you? Who would say yes to a show that the previous version of that literally got canned? So, not a shocker that Shockwave isn't happening. I'm glad. You didn't need three shows anyway. You didn't need Rampage. After you made Collision, and you didn't need Collision before you made Rampage. So you just don't need three shows. You need two shows at 2 hours, brand split, whole deal. Not gonna get into that. They're not. They're. It's such fuckery with all that shit. There's no point in repeating the same thing a million times over with them. But Shockwave isn't happening. And is anyone shocked? Why would anyone buy Shockwave? Why would you? Why would a network, especially like Fox, pay money for this, dude? For Shockwave, something that wasn't gonna fucking get time, ratings, nothing. And I'm glad it got canceled for their declining ratings. Hopefully that's a push to get some better ratings, get some better TV, all that. But it won't. They still have the Warner Bros. Deal, the epic mother of all simulcast, whatever the fuck they say, and that's all they're gonna focus on. It's fucking horrible. What do you? How? My question is to you: how do you think Tony Khan sold that fucking show? And your thoughts on it not getting picked up?
Uh, well, I know. Funny enough, I know there was a pitch to bring it to Max to be a Max exclusive show, and they also didn't want anything to do with it. So it's kind of funny with Tony Khan trying to shop around Shockwave, and it didn't get picked up because all Tony's do what do I always say about Tony Khan? He has a couple ways of garnering excitement. Otherwise, he has no. He's a clueless fucking hack in terms
Mm-hmm.
of how to garner excitement. He has a couple ways. One of which there's three ways Tony Khan. These are the only way Tony Khan knows how to garner excitement for his company at this fucking point. A new title, a new show, or a new signee.
Yep.
Those are the three ways. Though that is just about all Tony Khan knows how to do to garner excitement. Or sometimes it'll take people, heckling him enough on Twitter to make things happen. But it's funny to me that he tried to shop this show around and everybody denied it because everybody can see the
That's true.
failures of all of his little vanity projects other than Dynamite.
Yeah. They don't
Dynamite
work.
has been about the only success of AEW's weekly shows because that is how Tony Khan treats it. Now, when he treated Collision as a second brand, it worked. It
Work.
fucking worked. There
Cool.
was exclusivity. There was exclusive superstars. You had to watch these shows to see these people. Punk Joe, Ricky, Bullet Club, House of Black, and then on Dynamite, you had your Blackpool Combat Clubs, Elites, these kind of guys. And it fucking worked. It worked. Once Punk left, everything got merged and down the fucking toilet went Saturday Collision. It was bad. It was bad. And everybody can see that. Nobody is stupid. We're not in the age anymore where you're the only exciting professional wrestling company. You actually have to do work now to get these things to work. People aren't just going to go watch Collision because Raw sucks and SmackDown sucks. Now, depending on the week, those can be great watches. So why would anybody watch these, especially now with the way you treat them?
They're just a bunch of random nothing matches by usually a random bunch of nothing guys on your roster. Why would anybody watch that? What am I watching Action and Ready for in 2024 and 2025? Why would anyone watch that?
Now, if you want, and honestly, with the run Rampage had and with the run Collision's on, you better you better ramp it up with Collision, which I will admit they have been doing an okay job with putting good stuff on Collision. I know we've seen the Collision from the Hammerstein Ballroom, and that was a great episode. Not
Yeah.
a great episode, but it was, they're putting interesting enough things on there, and it was in a great atmosphere. I think Hammerstein probably has a lot to play in that, but with Collision, what you're best off doing is running and we're really going to talk about this with predictions and things we want to see on Monday. What you're best off doing is doing a brand split with exclusivity. I know your dad, banned you from the Jaguars draft room, so you could do an AEW draft room that you're not banned from. And you can add exclusivity with exclusive titles and exclusive people on these brands to make it interesting and give the show. I seen some dude make a tweet on Twitter. The tweet blew up. He made a
Oh, yeah.
graphic. He made a
Mhm.
graphic with the world championship, and then the international championship would act as the world championship on Collision, and then the TBS women's trios tags,
Yeah.
TNT and the what's the other one? The Continental title. Um,
Ain't that the problem?
and
What's the other one?
and you and you and you and you have exclusive everything. You switch it up because if not,
It's
Rampage is
doomed.
next. Or Collision is next. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Collision is fucking next. It's a fucking failure. And we've been reporting the past couple weeks how more frequent is it that we're seeing, oh, Collision got a 300K or Collision got a 200K. The more that becomes frequent, the more and more likely Collision is going to be next on the fucking chopping block.
Yep. Exactly. I wouldn't be shocked. They got to keep it up with Collision. And worst part is the way the AEW marks react to that tweet was, "There's a reason why fans don't book the show." Bro, what are you mad about? This is better. This is You need a brand split with a roster your size. You do. You fucking need it. So the fact that we don't have it, no matter what they do with Collision, no matter how good they try to make the show look, they've been doing a decent job lately. No matter what, the show is inevitably doomed without a brand split. And I
Yeah.
think come 2026, without a brand split, I don't see a Collision. And I think that's just how it works, bro. That's just how it works.
Yeah, and two, when Punk was there, it was like, okay, I want to see Punk. I want to see Joe. I want to see Switchblade, House of Black, Ricky Starks. Like, Christian Cage was a huge one.
Hmm.
It's like, I want to see these guys, so I'm going to watch Collision. I remember every Saturday night when I would come home, I would watch the Collision rerun. And it was great. Once that went away, and you started seeing these guys on both shows again, there was no fucking point. And again, there is no way this show is going to survive without something like that, or else, like I said, Collision is going to be right on the chopping block with Rampage because there's no reason to watch it. And Tony, you are in the business now where you are in the business now, bro, where you have to do work now. You're not the only exciting wrestling company in town anymore. There is WWE now who has reemerged and who is kicking your ass, in my opinion, in
Oh yeah,
in basically damn near everything. In every
every
fucking
department.
aspect, they're kicking your ass, quite literally, bro. And you got to do work now. You got to make these shows exciting. You got to innovate. You got to refresh. You got to go back to the drawing board. You have to create new concepts for AEW. You have to remake everything exciting because you do not have
Hmm.
that. And running the same old shit, you're going to see more and more of your shit get canceled until we're down to just Dynamite, which Dynamite will
Yep.
just survive, which, okay. But
Okay.
your roster is so big, I strongly suggest you do that brand split. And I'm glad I'm starting to see people put that in Tony Khan's mentions because it's getting much. It is getting much. And and it's getting much without it because, again, Rampage or Collision is useless, and that is why Rampage got canceled, because it's useless, and Collision's going to be right next to it unless you do something exciting with the show. And I think a brand split, for as big as your roster is the absolute best idea. This is also a way for you to keep guys separated for long periods of time, like Osprey and Ricochet, like Swerve and Hangman. These kind of guys you can keep separated to build intrigue for when you eventually do put them on the same roster. It's a great move for AEW, and I don't know why it hasn't been expanded on. Or how about this? The fucking Hurt Syndicate and the Death Riders.
Please, for the love of God, separate them.
Because the more and more these guys are on the same show, the more and more the Hurt Syndicate make them look silly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. Bell says, and before TK gets ahead of himself on WWE slowing down, that's the regular before heading into Mania season, and things really pick up again. So
exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, bro. He is he is fucked. He is fucked going into Mania season for sure, because they got heavy hitters coming up in the beginning of the year, and the beginning of AEW last year was horrible up until March.
Oh, it's horrid.
So my thoughts on the show being not picked up. I don't. Again, if you're rebranding this as Rampage, how the hell do you sell that to somebody without it getting declined? But Shockwave, the reason for that is AEW's ratings of the company declining. What did you expect? What did you fucking expect? How long did you think you were going to get to put out mediocre product before somebody did not pick you up? I mean, your product sucks. This is what happens. Again,
exactly.
Now, Tony, you're going to have to do work. You had it easy your first couple of years because people wanted something different from WWE. People were tired of the WWE way of booking people into the ground. You had it easy. Now WWE is good again. You got to actually do work now, bro. So, yeah.
Definitely, man.
So that is the news on AEW Shockwave and them not being picked up by Fox. I don't know what they expected, bro. I really don't. Now, AEW World's End.
Yeah, man.
You're supposed to sound excited, man. I know you're really excited for this show.
Yeah.
For the TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander 2. To my knowledge, Mercedes came out on Collision and told Chris Statlander, when are we going to run this back? Wow.
Okay.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
Man, that's... What a setup, dude. What a feud, what a build. Fucking hell. When are we gonna run this back? Graphic. Mercedes, I guess.
This is this is probably the level of storytelling we were going to get on Shockwave, which is why it was not picked up by Fox or Max. Excuse me. Well, you guys can hear it, but yes, I am going to go ahead and unblur my camera really quick. I'm going to go ahead and say Mercedes here.
Yeah.
What? Okay. No story for this.
None.
Just let's just run it back.
That is the story.
Let's run this thing back. Speaking of rich story.
Okay.
For the International Championship, Konosuke Takeshita versus Powerhouse Hobbs. I don't fucking think we've seen these guys once talk about this match on Dynamite.
No, I didn't hear a peep about this match in the slightest anywhere.
It was just announced on Twitter one day. Hobbs versus Takeshita. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Never ends.
Good lord. Maybe this is the AEW story. It's a good one. Maybe this is the story they go with where one of the guys,
Okay.
or both,
Okay.
are looking for a fight, and they got it. That's got to be what this was. Very rich.
That's what they'll say. I can't wait for the commentary before the match. What the fuck are they gonna say? It's probably that. It's probably exactly that.
Yeah, probably. They're looking for a fight.
You're gonna have Excalibur, Will Bobs. He just wants to fight, man. Yeah, I know it's coming.
What did he fucking say on? He said something. He said some stupid shit on Dynamite. I can't remember.
I can tell you.
I'm going with Takeshita here.
Obviously, same.
Mariah May defends the AEW Women's World Championship against Thunder Rosa in a Tijuana street fight. Mind you, World's End takes place in Orlando, Florida. How the fuck is it a Tijuana street fight? And we're in Orlando, Florida.
Why is she even facing her? I don't get it. I don't fucking get it, man. Mariah May. I think it's pretty obvious. It's gonna be Mariah May for to lead to Tony Storm. Obviously, I would like for them to save the Tony return for after this match to give it a little more intriguing business. But fucking hell, it is what it is, and it's gonna be a Mariah May win.
Definitely. I am also throwing my name in the Mariah May victory hat in Tijuana. For the Dynamite Diamond Ring, MJF versus Adam Cole, which AEW started selling the Dynamite Diamond Ring.
Look at that.
Is it at a is it at a affordable price for their audience to get their hands on and just have as a nice cool piece of memorabilia? No, it's $150. It takes 7 to 10 business days to process your order and then 8 to 10 weeks to ship. And then it's basically useless to you unless you are a size 11 ring, because that is the only size they sell it in.
Well, size 11, it literally says on the fucking website, size 11 MJF size. That's it. Good lord. Good lord.
$150 for what could have been a cool piece of MJF memorabilia, and you sell it in one size, and it is what? And you have to wait damn near 3 fucking months to get it. Nice fucking merchandise marketing, AEW. Fucking
Great
phenomenal.
job.
I honestly think MJF is going to win this. I think Matt Taven and Mike Bennett are going to turn. I think they're going to join MJF to form probably one of the most uninteresting, nonsensical factions ever, with MJF, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett, who are then going to go up against Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong, the Undisputed Era.
That's exactly what's gonna happen, and like every fucking faction MJF's been a part of, the tag team will eventually do nothing after the storyline, because it's gonna be all about MJF and Adam Cole, and they're gonna unofficially split from them and call it a day. So that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yep. Yeah. The Continental Classic. The semifinals of both leagues are going to be happening here. So I'll say this. I do like the sort of like last chance opportunity you can have here
Mhm.
with the runner up facing the winner. What I don't like is how they didn't just keep it in the same league, because if Okada wins his match and Fletcher wins his match, then you're just fucking getting a blue league final. Then the gold league was just rendered completely useless. And if Ricochet wins his match and Ospreay wins his match, then the blue league is again just completely rendered fucking useless.
Yeah, it's really weird the way they did it, dude.
It is. It absolutely is, bro. But the semis, the semis of this, for the Osprey and Fletcher match, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and give the I guess I'm gonna go ahead and give this one to Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, probably.
And for the Okada and Ricochet match, I guess Okada.
I would hope Okada. If it's Ricochet, then oh, holy fuck. But I would think Okada.
So before we get to the finals, an official word from our sponsor. AEW had me perplexed. AEW had me so perplexed this week. We're doing this now in the middle of the predictions. W Energy, the official sponsor of the Notorious Hills podcast, man. W Energy, they are an official they are an energy drink company loaded with vitamins and nootropics formulated to improve focus without the jitters. W Energy is a clean formula that is sugar-free, 0-calorie, free from fillers and artificial colorings, with 150 milligrams per serving, 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. You can get your W Energy products today with the link below and code NHP at checkout to save yourselves 10% on your purchase, man. So if you guys are looking to stay awake during AEW World's End, go ahead, get you guys some W Energy, man. Thank you to W. Always great partner here with us at NHP, and shout out to W, man.
Shout out to them, man. They always keep me up during anytime I need to be up, which is usually for AEW.
There it is. So, shout out to W Man, the official sponsor of NHP. Okay. All right, back to the Continental Classic. I don't know, because, see, if you would have done the Blue League final, Okada versus Fletcher, I could have absolutely seen Fletcher and Ospreay being the final.
Yeah.
Fletcher winning this makes no sense to go up against Ospreay or Okada because they're both heels. So I actually might refrain on that. I actually might retract my statement. I honestly might give this to Ospreay because the other two guys are heels, and
You know what?
I might go ahead and say this could very well be an Okada and Ospreay final.
I could definitely, now that you say that, I could see Osprey winning the whole thing, win the Continental title, whatever the fuck,
Okay.
and then fucking Kyle Fletcher will feud with him for it to eventually beat him for it. That's probably what they're gonna do.
Okay. I could see that. So I'm going to go ahead and say Ospreay wins and gets into the finals. And then on the other side, I'm going to say Okada.
Yeah.
I actually might give this to, you know,
I feel like Okada's not gonna, win and retain because I feel like it's gonna tie into this elite stuff. The elite
so
abandoned him and Jack Perry and shit.
I was gonna say Okada wins and feuds with Omega over the Continental title. Yeah, I'm gonna say Ospreay wins this. He goes on to feud with Fletcher. Fletcher will take it from him, and then I think sometime after the match, if we are gonna see Omega back, I think we see Omega come out and confront Okada and sort of have a mini stare down with Ospreay.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say Will Ospreay takes the Continental Classic, bro. Unless we get an Ospreay and Ricochet final again, which I don't know. They
Um,
fucked all this up. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't just do an Ospreay and Fletcher final, but or I don't get it. I
I
really
don't
don't get it
fucking
because
understand.
we all know the end game here is going to be some sort of Ospreay and Fletcher. So
Yeah,
I don't know
exactly.
why they didn't just do that, but they fucked this whole thing up with all this runner up. I don't know why they didn't just do the winner of the gold and the runner up from the gold, the winner from the blue and the runner up from the blue face. Whoever wins their bracket goes on to face the winner from, I don't know, the other bracket. I'm
You would
honestly,
think.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and say Osprey wins the tournament and feuds with Fletcher, thus Okada feuding with Omega.
I think so.
Because
I think that'll happen.
I would say Omega could come back and cost Okada, but with Continental rules that wouldn't.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know. They kind of fucked the tournament up this year, and it's been an okay tournament, but it's just they really just fucked it up with the rules and whatnot this year, in my opinion, bro. So yeah,
They really
I
did.
don't know, dude.
They really fucking did. And Belle mentioned in the comments, she says it's the end of the year, doesn't really, give a fuck about this pay-per-view. She just wants to and I agree. World's End, I think, is something that just the idea failed. It's a pay-per-view at the very end of the year and shit. It wasn't fucking intriguing last year. It's really not intriguing this year. Please don't do World's End again next year. I don't think it was a good way to do it, man. I don't think it was.
Definitely, definitely, bro. So yeah, I don't know, and I really also don't know where Tony Khan is really going with this the whole Continental Classic or whatever, but I don't know.
No, I don't.
I don't know. As for the main event, you got the AEW fighters and Hangman, Orange Cassidy, and Jay White, according to commentary, the guys fighting for AEW. According to John Moxley, they're selfish, and they've even said on multiple occasions that they're selfish. But according to according to commentary, these guys are team AEW. Who you got winning this one, bro?
Probably Mox. I don't see him losing it now, so I'll give it to Mox. There's probably gonna be bigger room between Hangman and Jay White and shit. And I think it'll just be Mox.
Yes, same here. I think this is a John Moxley. I think this is a John Moxley victory, and that's that. And yes, man, um, yeah, Bell, I absolutely agree with you, man. I mean, this is this is a dead this is a dead pay-per-view, man. I don't know why this fucking thing exists the weekend before New Year's, man. I mean,
So pointless.
you can always count on AEW for getting giving pay-per-views on the shittiest weekends. So,
Yeah, always, never fails.
yep, John Moxley's going to retain, and yeah, so that is that. And with that, that is your predictions for World's End, man. Now you guys can catch us on here tomorrow night with the official World's End official post-show review, man. So we will be on here tomorrow with the World's End review, and with all that, that is going to do it with for this edition of the news. Thank you guys to everybody who joined us today. Noah, how's it going, my man? Bell, my man Pat. Thank you guys for everybody who joined us in the live chat, as well as my guys JT and JB on the Replay Mafia. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. It has been always a pleasure for my Johnny.
Nice, okay.
And that is going to do it for this edition of the Notorious podcast, man. This has been episode 246. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all tomorrow night with the AEW World's End post-show review.
Peace.